Hi there, and welcome to Purple Figs and the Craftstic Workshop right here in the Art Gallery of Cotuit Center for the Arts. My name is Jason Mellon, and I'm joined as always by
Kim Marie Baker.
And Kim, what are we standing in the midst of today? What art is here in the gallery?
We are standing in the midst of Animalia. These are animals run amok on our walls, on our pedestals. And this is our winter art exhibit, which we do at this time every year, where I say all the art is hung at my height, which really means that it's hung at a height for children because we have kids coming in on group tours, etc. So this is always a special time for us.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite exhibits of the year. The kids come in, they get to do an art project. I get to lead them around, do a docent tour of the exhibit. I tell you, Kim, this year I was learning a lot about animals. I know a lot about the diet and the habitat of the cassowary, and I know exactly how barnacles propagate, and I've learned a whole lot, I will say. So it's been a really fun exhibit. The work is just whimsical, but there's a lot of realistic art. And then we have art like you're writing to today. This collection, and we are doing 3 pieces today, I believe, right?
Yes.
So what are we looking at today?
So we're looking at found art by, actually, this is the first time we've done 2 artists in the same video, but they aren't the only artists. So we have 2 pieces by Nick Nobili. We've got his turtle and his elephant, and we have whiskered craftsmanship here by Libby White. We also have a piece of Nick's to the side here, which we can show you later. We actually have a wonderful work of found art by Lauren Woke.
Yes,
actually,
first floor gallery.
Actually a couple of pieces of hers. And so these really struck me, but so did the others. Didn't want to write about too many, but that's what we're looking at here. And that's what I would encourage people to come and see. This stuff is just amazing.
Yeah, your poem, which we'll get to in just a second here, was inspired more than just the works themselves, but by the entire concept, the entire medium. And I just, well, I won't say anything more. I will leave it to you. Okay. So everyone, here is Kim Baker.
So I call this reincarnated as art. This is what the world needs more of: art, but not just any art. Art that resurrects a wooden toilet paper holder and a door latch and a brass coat hook into an exquisite elephant. And look at this wood and metal that have become a turtle proudly crossing the beach. What could be more delightful than a downward-facing cat, whiskered and whimsical, having once lived its life as a wood planer? These artists know brokenness. They know how tempting it is to give in and stop trying when life gets too hard, to suffer the worst thing that could happen to any human: despair. So they comb the thrift stores and junk shops, the neglected basements and attics of lost objects, of lives at the end of the line, and magic. Water into wine, loaves into fishes, the salvation of the island of misfit toys. They give us all hope that we will be reimagined and loved just as we are, that we will live on, reincarnated as art, be outcast, be forgotten, be broken no more.
You know, I often find, this isn't true just to you, but of so many poets, you don't understand them till you hear them. So I read this poem, was moved by it and touched by it, but to hear it come out of a person's mouth is another experience entirely. Can you tell me what it was that drew you in the beginning to these pieces? What caught your eye? Because I loved them when they came in. You know, I was part of the jury and committee. They're here, obviously, so we all were delighted by them. But what made you stop and see more?
First of all, and there are a lot in this exhibit, I love myself an elephant. So
that's very true.
when I've seen some beautiful elephants in this exhibit, and then I got here and I thought, that is the cleverest thing I have seen. there is just something about this. And I went, is that a toilet paper holder, an old wooden one? And I just the delight of it and just the joy of it. And then I think, well, there's a way of seeing that I don't think I have that piece of to create that, to see in those disparate objects another object, a reincarnation. But I totally loved it, and the brass hook and the the elephant trunk, and so that was part of it. And then I looked just to the left, and here's Nick's turtle. Same thing. This turtle is moving. You can see the motion when you're standing in front of it. That I loved. And then of course Libby's is just a few doors down actually, but here for this video. So I think it was that the elephant caught my eye, but then I realized when you really inspect it, what kinds of screws and bolts and objects that don't go together are put together to create this beautiful work of art.
I'm curious when you went to writing it, only because I've never seen you do it here on Purple Figs before. The poem itself is without stanza, it's without line break. You just sort of wrote straight through this very prosy approach. What made you want to do that with working with these pieces?
I think that's a great question. And some of what I do here is I come up and look at the exhibit a few times, and then if I get stopped in front of one, I actually dictate it. So I take out my phone, and once you've done that and you have that without the periods and without the other punctuation, and sometimes I'm writing in stanzas that way and I'm dictating in stanzas, but then I realized that this was really a meditation for me, and that there was no really start or stop to it, that this was just an honoring of this art, of this vision, and a meditation on what it feels like for someone to see you as disparate objects that can come together and be beautiful. And it felt to me like it needed to just be meditative and not have a break.
There was a sense for me reading and listening to it where it's like, this is where the arrangement happened. And this is just where the reaction to the arrangement happened. So you didn't need to get any more in depth. Just, it doesn't matter sort of how it's put on the page, seeing the word despair alone like that will call to me no matter how it's placed. So I loved having that. I had that same sense of delight, you used that word, when I saw these. But when I got to the end of your poem, they give us all hope that we will be reimagined. I mean, that's why we do poetry, isn't it?
Right.
So that we can reimagine our own voice, that we can live in a new way, that we can be reincarnated as art, that something in myself will live on. And I don't know, for me, that feeling of someone looking at my art, listening to it, reading it, and then saying, I saw you in it. That's why I'm doing it.
And you know what, you're also talking about one of the things that's so powerful in all writing, but particularly in poetry, is figurative language. And this, I realized as I meditated on this and wrote this, the piece where people get reimagined came later. But this, I realized, was the metaphor for brokenness and what can happen when someone really can see those disparate pieces and reimagine something beautiful. And so, and that's what poetry is really, one of its powerful gifts to people, is that metaphor and use of figurative language.
Yeah, I recognize some of these objects from my basement or my grandmother's basement, just sitting there, and someone looked at them and said, no, I see more than what you are. And they created something that, well, what a joy to be able to cause even two people to feel delight, like we did. So.
Absolutely. And, just to honor artists who do this kind of found work, because all art is fabulous to me. But there was just something so tender and touching about creating these animals. I mean, not just anything, not just a box of something, but, just animals. And there are some others around the exhibit as well that just delights to no end.
Yeah, there is something really special about sort of these inanimate objects being given life for an exhibit like
Yes.
Animalia.
Right.
So it's a marvelous piece of it. I wish we could show you every single piece. I'm going to try to show this bench you're standing next to,
Yeah.
Kim,
Yeah.
because I just
That's Nick as well. So Nick Nobili, who did the elephant here and the turtle, another just incredible vision and way of putting this together. And they all have life to me. That's what was so interesting about them.
Yeah, there's some incredible animal portraiture in this exhibit.
Yes.
There's some ceramics just down the road that are actually in both directions. We got
Yes.
some really incredible
Yes.
pieces. And only a few more weeks left to see it, Kim. How much time do we have left to show
Yes,
this?
we have until February 10th to see this exhibit. So you've still got time. If you want a tour, let us know. We would love to talk to you about it and show you around. But feel free to come into our always free gallery.
Mhm.
It's just a gorgeous exhibit, and pieces are selling, which is always such a wonderful thing. Honor to the artists as well.
Yeah, we like our art, to be accessible for everyone, but we go out of our way with this exhibit to make sure that young people can come and enjoy. So if you have any young artists in your life, make sure they come and see this. They can come if they're part of a tour. We have an art activity for them to do. We have scavenger hunts, which are very fun.
Right. Yeah.
I've watched a couple of staff members do them as
Yeah.
well. So lots to see in the gallery for Animalia. And we hope to see you soon. Kim, it was a pleasure as always. Thank you for sharing your art.
Thank you.
And we will see you in the gallery soon.
See you next time. Thank you.